Alright, so I'm not a diehard Sonic fan. I'm not that familiar with it. So I'm not sure how huge fans will react to this film. As for me, I thought it was okay. Just okay. I had a lot more fun with the first one. I thought the first one was a lot more entertaining, and the story of the first movie flowed a lot better. Because this one, there were a few things that stood out, though. I'm going to start with what's good about it. So what's great about it is Idris Elba as Knuckles. Idris Elba as Knuckles was really good. He was really fun. He was intimidating, he was also kind of funny, and there were some fun action sequences, and there were some lines in the script I thought were kind of witty, but the story of this movie is so bogged down by the second act. The first act is pretty fun, and the third act is really fun, but the entire middle section is so uninteresting. Because the film takes a huge detour from the film's story about Sonic, about these Chaos Emeralds, to give us 10 or 15 minutes of James Marsden at a wedding, and it's so boring and unfunny. And all these human characters that it focuses on during this entire middle section with no Sonic are so uninteresting and so boring and so unfunny, and it really pads the runtime. And even then, some of the Sonic stuff in the second act kind of pads the runtime. We don't have time to expand the lore of this universe. We're going to explain about Chaos Emerald and stuff like that, but we're not really going to delve super deep into it. But we do have time for a dance battle. You could be expanding the mythology of this universe. That's really interesting. This is such interesting stuff. I want to learn more about this. But we're going to fill up the second half of this. We're going to fill up the middle section of this movie, which is so much unnecessary fluff and so much unnecessary filler. It just really brings it down. Like I said, it does pick up a bit with the third act. The climax of this movie feels straight out of a video game or cartoon, and that was entertaining. And it makes me wish that we had had more of that stuff in the second act. But even then, there is one issue I do have with the third act. Sonic is apparently afraid of water, and this is never set up. And it comes out of nowhere. There's a part where he has to run across an ocean, and he's like, why does it have to be water? Anything but water. And I'm like, nowhere earlier in this movie, or even in the first movie, did you state that you were afraid of water? Did they show that you were afraid of water? But now suddenly you are. It just comes out of nowhere without being set up at all. So that was another issue. But yeah, the main issue of this movie is that it focuses way too much on boring, uninteresting human characters instead of the Sonic stuff, the Sonic lore. But honestly, I'd say unless you're a diehard Sonic fan, you can probably wait to rent this movie. Overall, I would give it a C, a 7 out of 10, and a 3 out of 5 stars.